Hi, I'm Paris Childress, and in this video, I want to walk you through our approach to content strategy. So typically, before we start producing any content, we want to make sure that we have a clear strategy in place. We want to understand who are we writing for, what pain points of those people we are solving with our content, and how that content is eventually going to connect to our business objectives. So here is a sample content strategy, and I want to walk you through some of the common elements here. And so we have, first of all, the goal that we want to achieve with content marketing, the unique buyer personas that we've created, and these are the people that we want to write for, different topic clusters, the mapping of the content to those personas, and then finally an editorial calendar, which is really a roadmap of content topics that we want to write about for the roughly 6 months out. So the overarching goal is really, how does content marketing connect to the ultimate business goals? Usually content marketing is a relatively early stage touch point in a customer's journey. It helps people make a first impression of a brand. It usually is intended to solve problems rather than to sell. That's typically the most effective type of content. Next, I want to talk about personas. And it's very, very important that with every piece of content, there is a clear buyer persona, or this could be also called a customer avatar. This is a representation of the ideal customer and a particular pain point or problem that they have. So what we actually do is either interview customers or prospects individually, or we do this through surveys. But we want to actually talk to real customers, and we want to shape these unique buyer personas. And in this particular deliverable, we're going to be giving these people real names and real faces. We're going to talk about where they are professionally. We're going to talk even about some of their personal characteristics. And we want to understand how our product or our service ultimately solves the need of this particular persona. And usually we have anywhere between 3 to 5 unique personas that we develop. The next big aspect of a content strategy is to develop a so-called pillar cluster model. So a pillar page is a very, very in-depth page that goes very deep into a broad topic area. And a cluster page is typically a shorter page, like a blog post of 1,000 to 1,500 words, which covers maybe a smaller subtopic of the main topic of the pillar page. And when you link the cluster pages around the pillar page, as is shown in this example, you're actually signaling to Google topical relevance around a broad topic of the site. So the goal is to, when we're planning topics, to think about a few large topics that could be developed as pillar pages, and then several different subtopics that could be developed as shorter blog posts around that pillar page. And we want to strategically link out from the pillar page to all those cluster pages, and also link back in from the cluster pages to the pillar page. And when Google crawls the website and it sees this linking architecture, it is going to assign topical relevance to whatever that pillar page is about. And basically, that's going to allow that entire structure, including all the cluster pages, to rank for a very, very long tail of keywords. So if we build that out, it might look something like this, where we have, let's say, 5 different pillar pages, and we might have about 7 or 8 different cluster pages with blog topics positioned around those pillar pages. This is very, very important, the linking architecture. Here's some other examples of topic clusters that we've developed in this particular case around data science. The next big area is to map topics to the persona pain points. So what that means is, in this case, the business analyst has particular pain points compared to a data scientist or maybe an executive. And it's important that when we think about topics and we come up with suggested topics, that we are targeting a specific persona and a specific pain point that we want to solve for that persona. So that's developed in these slides here. And the last major deliverable is the editorial calendar. The editorial calendar is a roadmap with specific topics for roughly 6 months out into the future. And the editorial calendar is not set in stone. We always reserve the right to pivot if we see different topics performing well once we start publishing, or if we see other topics that are not performing well. We certainly would not want to continue writing about those topics if it's clear they're not performing well. But the editorial calendar is really just a roadmap so that we have a plan in place about what we want to write about week in and week out. And based on the data that comes in throughout the project, we can make tweaks to that editorial calendar if necessary. So this is roughly a 2-week process to create this content strategy. We are going to ask for probably access to some customers that we can interview or that we can survey to build these personas, and also feedback on the topics for the pillar pages and for the blog posts that we're proposing. Thanks a lot for watching.